What's going on, guys? This is Professor Diehard. We are here with Pathologic 2, the review. So, I want to go on and just say this from the get-go, that this is this is like the weirdest gaming experience I've had in a long time. Not only through its music, but through its characters, its ambiance, how you engage with people. Just like this. Like, when you talk to people, you are constantly in their faces. But first of all, before we continue on, we need to talk about what this game is even about. Like, what is your purpose? What are you trying to do? So this game is basically about, you are the son of a famous doctor in this town. You don't know the name of the town. All you know is, if you want to look at the town, it's right here. This is the town. You're the son of a famous doctor who sent you off to go to school to learn how to be a doctor or a surgeon. And then a couple of weeks ago, you started receiving letters from your father saying that he needs you to come back to be his assistant. Well, you come back to find out that your father is dead. And you have to find out who killed your father and why. So, I just wanted to kind of show you the little bit of the intro here for a second, because I feel like this intro really encapsulates how this game gives you such an it's such an amazing intro. It makes you really get in, like, it makes you care about the place that you're at. The stakes are set so unbelievably high, and you know it's high, but you don't even understand what's going on. And it's such a great set piece. So, some of my biggest grievances when it comes to this game, actually, we're gonna get that into a minute. Trust me, we have plenty of time to talk about this. This is more of like a very layman's terms like review. I'm not trying to go super in depth. I think Mandalore Gaming, and there's a couple other YouTubers that have done reviews for this game. They've done an excellent job, and they can encapsulate the games far better than I ever could. But there are just some things that they did not even talk about that I feel like is not very good. I feel like there was some very key issues with this game that need to be discussed. So this is how you find out if someone needs to talk. You look at them, you can press X, and you have different dialogue. Different dialogue choices can affect the story in many different ways. These are very popular characters you'll see through the story. Now, this game is all about you reading between the lines. It's all about you kind of figuring out, who do you need to go to? What mission should you do at this day, or should you not do this mission? Whose side are you going to be on? Why? What is your decision? And that's basically how the game works. So just check out this opening for a second. You don't know what's going on. There's just a bunch of army soldiers walking around. They're burning bodies. And just listen to that music. Not only is this song so powerful, you can literally just look around and see how everything is falling apart. And it's your job to not let this be the future. You start meeting all these characters that you have no idea who they are, but at one point, as you play through the story, you'll start understanding who they are and what they're talking about, and how you can change the future, basically. This is the Sand Plague. You don't know who these military guys are because they come in later. But basically with this game, you're meant to play this through a span of 2 weeks, about 12 days. And on the 12th day, the town will either live or it will die, depending on your choices. Will you be able to fight and combat the Sand Plague? Will you be able to keep people alive? Or will you get the Sand Plague and continually die? When you die, not only do you get to keep playing, but you have multiple like you start losing health, your maximum health. You start losing maximum stamina. You start having to drink water more frequently. Examples like that, it makes the game really interesting. Makes you want to make your decisions very filled with a lot of intelligence. You don't want to just run into situations and get killed immediately. In this game, it's amazing how much this game does a lot of foreshadowing too. Like right here, this is going to be a trailer that you get to use for a little bit. I didn't even notice that there was people in here last time. So anywho, I just wanted to show you that little tidbit there just for a quick little second, because I feel like it's very important to understand that this game, let me just tell you what, when it comes to music, when it comes to ambiance, when it comes to the, I don't know about graphics, but I will say when it comes to a lot of these things, this game succeeds with flying colors. Now, there are a couple things I need to talk about that this game does not do well with at all. This game has a huge issue, and and this is a PS4 review, so take that little caveat there. This is not a review for the PC version of this game. I've heard that there are similar issues on the PC, just like the PS4. But in my honest opinion, I believe that I think I remember looking up. There's like patches that fans have made that they can help fix with the bugs. And I feel like that game is way more up to date than this game that's on here. Kind of similar to 7 Days to Die. So here's a few examples of bugs that I have come across in this game. And I also want to apologize for how I do the stream here. It's very basic, not a lot of pizzazz to it like Mandalore games. But I feel like it's just the way I do things. So some of the biggest issues that this game suffers from is loading screens. And then audio cutting out just like that, as you just heard. The combat is very janky. But here's the thing. These issues are not just individual issues that, frustrate the player on their own merit. These issues, at many points through my playthrough, have combined into one big issue. For instance, I'll be fighting multiple people at once. They all have knives. Knives will kill you very fast, right? And I will be just running through the town. Then I'm nowhere because I went through one part of a town to the next part of the town. How the game basically works is there are things like there are loading screens or little loading areas. So when you go from one region to the next region, the game will start to load and load in, And the reason why it does this is because the game is split up into different regions in this whole town, because the sand plague will come in at different areas of the map. And when you walk into it, you may walk from a region of the town that's not infected with the plague, but then you go over to the next part of the town and there's no plague at all. So it has to load and take away the plague so you can keep going and not get sick. So here's another really interesting thing. Every time you die, everything gets affected through each of your saves. So for instance here, there's a lot of quests you can do in a day. This is day 8. This is just an example. There are multiple quests you can do in this game. But here's the thing. You do not have enough time to do everything. If you're like really booking it, you actually may have a chance of getting everything you need. Or getting all the quests done. But there's always something that you're missing. And you have to choose what is more important. Do you want to... And also, you can look over here. These are all the people. You have to choose what person do you want to do quests for. What person do you want to help out the most? What do you want to do? And your choices impact the game very much at the very end. Just like you saw, if you watched my my playthroughs, a couple streams, and like at the very end, like you get to meet all the people that lived. But a lot of people have died. They're gone. So, and as you can see here, just on day 8, these are all the people that have already died. Now, I could have stopped their deaths. I could have went out of my way to actually keep them alive, but, sometimes you can't. But that just depends on you and how you utilize your resources. So, I wanted to show you an example of the loading of some of the issues that the game has. So, for instance, we're going to be walking down here. We're going to keep walking. We're going to keep walking. And right here, you can see the regions split up right here, right? So we're going to walk right through this area. This is not, I don't want to do a whole comprehensive review because I feel like I'm going to miss so many key elements. But I just want to show you some of the issues that I have. Like right here, boom. So loading screens happen all the time in this game. Whether you're trying to open your menu, whether you're trying to pull out a gun, boom. So right there, I was stuck in a loading screen, and then out of nowhere, the SAM play just walked up on me, and now I'm more infected now, and I couldn't have controlled that. So this game also has a lot of different choices you can make. For instance, you can go up to somebody, you can trade with her, be like, hey, she wants medicine. That's what she needs. So you can either give her, you can trade your medicine with her. But if you look at over here, you see this it's like a handshake symbol. That basically represents like, hey, this tincture here, this little potion's worth 2 handshakes, and this one's worth, and the egg is worth 3. So give her something that's equal or greater than that. And if you give her the better side of the deal, she'll like you more. But if you just give her the even amount, it's all good. No one will hate you, but no one will like you more. So, back to other things here. This game is the weirdest game I have ever played. The architecture is like the best way I can describe it is like I think about it as like if I'm in Soviet Russia. You know what I mean? I'm in this like decrepit town, but then out of nowhere you'll start noticing there's these weird structures in the air, like these weird towers, these staircases that go into nowhere. They're just there. They defy gravity. They defy physics. You don't understand what's going on here. So let's show off the combat here. He brings up a knife. Pop. Pop. So that's a little bit of the combat here. Usually it's really difficult to find pistols or handgun ammunition in this game, but the way you can find it is going through buildings, looting dead corpses. But here's the other piece of caveat here. Okay, gosh, I love doing this. I love talking about this game because this game actually has a lot of things going for it in a really positive way. I really do like this game. So there's different ways you can play the game. You can go around healing people, using this. There's a thing called schmolders. You can heal people, and you can keep them alive as long as you can, but sometimes that's not. You need that medicine for something else later down the road. So if you use it too early, you don't have as many of the schmolders that you can use to actually help people that you actually want to keep alive later on in the game. You can also see in the top left of the corner that there are different stats. You can see health, immunity, exhaustion, hunger, right? You want to go? Pop. He's done. So, as you can see, oh, I'm still under attack. Oh, God. See right there. That's a perfect example of what can happen in the game. Guns can jam. You try to fight. Oh, boom. See right here. We're talking about... Ooh, what the heck? So he just tried to surrender, and I said, no, sir, we're not going to do that, and boom. Very nice. So, we're going to actually pause it here for a second and actually talk about what we just saw there. So, you have different move sets. You can hold the... if you see thirst right there, I'm very thirsty. So, let me drink some water. So, I drink some water. And so you can see the red bar represents like, my tiredness. Basically, if I use an attack, my stamina bar goes down. Simple. But the more you use it and the more you sprint and run around the map, the faster that red bar accumulates the entire bar. So you have to keep drinking water. But here's the kicker. You'll be running down in town, and then out of nowhere, you'll start having the plague. There'll be people there's these things called faucets in the ground. And you can actually get water out of them. Or there's also barrels right here you can get water out of. But you got to be careful, because if you get water out of this, you got to make sure it's actually clean water, because you can get muddy water and it can make you sick with the plague. So anywho, then you also have exhaustion. You have to sleep in this game, but that's also the point in the game. there are important things that are going on all the time while you're playing. So you have to make a choice. Do you try to risk it and like push past your tiredness so you can be able to do more quests, or do you try to find, let's say, coffee beans, and they can actually lower your exhaustion probably about like a sixth or a seventh of at the bar. There's also hunger. You have to eat food. If you do not eat enough food, you will start going hungry. And let me just say, it's not very fun what ends up happening with hunger later down in the game. Don't want to spoil anything here because I'm trying not to spoil anything. But this review is all about, with all honesty, I think I've talked enough about the good things. If you want to see a really great review that actually goes into more depth with this game, look up Mandalore Gaming. He did the first game and he did the second game. So let's talk about some serious issues that I actually have with this game. This game is so poorly optimized, it is not even funny. This game has so many issues when it comes to the loading screens. When you're loading, you have not only the plague making you sicker, but if you're actually fighting bandits or marauders or anybody, they can actually get free hits on you, and you can be immediately killed. Now, this game is ridiculously difficult. It is meant to be difficult. You are meant to juggle a ridiculous amount of different things while you play it. But here's the kicker. In my honest opinion, I feel like this game may actually run a million times better on PC. I give it that. But the optimization that this game received on the PS4 is honestly unacceptable. Okay, so the sand plague's right there. Sometimes the sand plague will be moving. Sometimes it'll go after you. Sometimes it'll actually stay in place and block you from going into places. So you go walk into the sand plague, look at this. Your immunity goes down. So you only have so much immunity before you actually get sick with the plague. If you get sick with the plague, you only have the schmolders, again what we were talking about earlier, to keep you from getting sick. Now I already used all my schmolders by day 8, which is not good. So when my next playthrough, I'm going to definitely, be a little bit smarter with that, so we don't miss out on, being able to use the stuff. So we're just walking around here. This game, there's so much texture pop-ins. There are glitches when it comes to enemies spawning in areas they should not be spawning in. There's just, it's so frustrating because this game does so many things well. There's also a rat here. Can I kill it? Dang it. This game does so many things well that to see a game in the state that it's in makes me quite sad. Oh, man, the amount of times this game has crashed is also unacceptable. This game has crashed through all the times I've played, about, oh my god, on and off screen combined, probably about 8 to 10 times. 8 to 10 times it has crashed. Not only just crashed where it just, goes back to the main screen of the game. This game has also crashed when you're loading, and it'll just perpetually load infinitely until you just get tired of it and you just close out the game. There's also some missions in this game that, in my honest opinion, are very unfair, but that's the point of the game. So the game basically loves to try and cheese you and get you killed in the most ridiculous of ways. So what you can do is, there's actually a mission here where you have to stand in here for about an hour or so, and the sand plague is like literally chasing you through this entire theater. So what you end up having to do is, while I was freaking out and losing my damn mind playing this, is if you actually stand over here, as you saw earlier, the sand plague, it moves around, right? It's like a being. It can follow you, go up here. If you stand right here, the sand plague will try to come up at you and get you, but if you move over here back to across the bodies, it will go through that door, like right there, that door frame, and go up the stairs. But if he starts getting close to you up here, you can just run right back. So why am I talking about this? Well, the reason why I'm talking about this is because this game claims that it's like meant to be hardcore. That it's meant to be a game where like, hey, you know, God, you really gotta know your stuff. You gotta be thinking ahead, yada yada yada. But the truth of the matter is sometimes the game, you can cheese the game just as much as the game can cheese you. You can literally go into rooms that have the sand plague just like riddled through it, and if you walk around the edges of the room, you won't even get sick. It's just it's weird. It's like the game chooses to be like easy, and then out of nowhere the game chooses to be very difficult. The game, it's weird. So you can also even change the difficulty of different things, such as like the degradation of your weapon equipment, how much damage you do, how much damage enemies do to you, and there's a whole list of things you can actually change. Now, initially, when I was going to do my second playthrough, I was going to actually lower the difficulty completely, so like it'll be a more enjoyable experience. But now I'm at it's so weird because when this game is meant to be incredibly difficult. Like that's the point of it. If you look at the different difficulty settings, like when you switch the intended difficulty to the unintended difficulties, when you switch it back to the intended difficulty, the game starts clapping for you and cheering for you. Like the game wants to be played in the most unbearable way. And it is so awesome. I loved when this game was not crashing, when this game was not freezing, when I was not perpetually stuck in load cycles, when I wasn't killed. Okay, you're going to die a lot in this game. This is not meant to be an easy game, as I just said a million times. People are going to like you don't really come across guns. People don't really shoot you with guns unless like until like the very last day. But that's very rare too. You'll be coming across bandits, you're going to be coming across the sand plague, you're going to be coming across the guards if you piss them off. Like, people are going to be trying to kill you the entire time. So you can fight and you can kill people and you can get stuff that you want and different loot, but you will die. And then you will have penalties that lower your health, your stamina, your immunity, and it can affect different ways how you engage other people. But let me tell you what, this game, when it is, see right here, you can see some of the bad texture pop in. And the issue that I'm having right now is this is a PS4 game. All right. This game, I think the game came out, 2 years ago. If I'm wrong, someone definitely correct me in the comment section below. But the optimization for this game is so unbelievably poor that the graphics just look so bad at times. Like, I'm talking, at first I noticed it when I started my playthrough of this game, and I didn't really say anything about it. I would joke about it, and I just kind of put it in the back of my head. But I always kept it there in the back of my head, because I wanted to bring it up here. Because I feel like if you're really going to look at a game with a critical eye and really analyze it for everything that it is, you have to talk about the things that you like and the things that you don't really like. And you gotta talk about the things that, you know, that you want this game, you want the developers to make better games. You also want the developers to improve the games that are already out, right? So let me just say this. The state that this game is in right now on PS4 is downright unacceptable. The amount of crashes and bugs that I have come across and just early on in the game is unacceptable. Now, I know that this game may have not sold well, and I completely understand that. And like sometimes you gotta like, you know, stream out and you gotta sell your game on different platforms. But this game was, for me, if you look at the version of this game, it's just version 1. Now, if you look at the Steam version, it actually may be a different version. I need to go actually look at that, so don't, you know, quote me there. But this game feels like it was just left out to die. It was just left. They wanted the cash grab. You sent them the money. You gave them the money. They gave you. It's a good game, but the bugs are just so countless. There's so much. And I feel like I've talked about that enough, but I feel like this review wouldn't be a review if I didn't really I really didn't get on that issue here. So again, this is early game now. So I was dumb. I dropped my knife. So, oh, this is a bad guy. Oh, that stab. Uh-oh. Let's see if I can actually live here. So people have complained about the combat multiple times. I've done a lot of research with people, how they feel about the game. They complain about the combat. They say it's not fair. It's very unbalanced, blah, 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 blah. I don't actually hate the combat. If you actually look at some of my older videos, I actually got really good with the combat. Oh yeah, get wrecked. Can I kill you? Can I kill you? So I want to prove a point here. So right here. So I'm trying to finish this guy off, and boom, I finished him off. So check this out. So this is actually a thing I want to talk about. So you start having enemies run away from you, right? You can't catch up to them. There's no way you can catch up to them. Because if you got out of a fist fight, your stamina is already like really low. So Professor Die Hard, just wait a second, get your stamina back up, chase after him. Okay, so you're doing that. They have like infinite stamina, by the way. They can just run. But here's the kicker as well. So check this out. So this must be this. I think this is another bad guy right here, right? So look at this guy. He's going to chase after me. I'm going to try to run away. He stops me and pulls me back to him. We do it again. I'm running this way. Oh, look at that. Everyone's after me now. And boom, I'm dead. Now, that's just a small grievance. I honestly don't even care that that happens. Except at the time when it does happen, it is very frustrating. But that's what makes you get into the game more. Is that you are not meant to be #1 head honcho where you kill everybody and like you're winning and yada yada yada. That's not the point of this game. The point of this game is that you're meant to suffer and you get to see how long you can last and how you can take a shitty situation and make it better. That's genius. Now you can say that like this type of mental process is very similar to games like 7 Days to Die or Minecraft, where like you have to go out. You're not really building in this game, but you have to go out. It's a survival-based game. Some people think it's very similar to that, but with all honesty, I think that's doing it a huge discredit when you compare it to like another typical survival game, because other survival games don't really have the story and the horror and the engaging aspects that Pathologic 2 has. For crying out loud, this game is meant to be it's like a play. Like you are an actor in a play. I don't want to spoil too much because I mean even I'm a little bit confused in some of the of the game. Not even gonna lie, it's confusing. But when you start actually getting what happens, it's actually really cool. It's really interesting and it's very confusing. Everyone talks in weird riddles. They all say the weirdest of things, but like it also, you have a connection with these people. You've known these people for a long time. You just came back into town. And every time you die, you come across this little Joker wannabe.
Hope springs eternal.
And it kind of pulls you out because then again, you wonder to yourself, should I be dying in this game? Well, then again, there's also story bits that you're missing when you die. And you can just read a little bit here if you want for a second. But basically what you end up finding out is there are different actors that come into the role of your character, Burak. Like Artemi Burak. Every time you die, that's like some previous actor that like was playing your character. Now a new actor comes in. This is you kind of saying, okay, well I'm the new actor, so let's go out. Boom, and you go out, and that's how you restart the game. Now, by the way, every time you die, it affects every save in that playthrough. Past, present, or future. Think about that. So don't let your little brother play the game and mess around with it and die too much. Then you're going to be really upset when you come back later. I'm trying to think other things to really talk about here. It's just this game oozes originality. This is like one of the most original games. Like it's the idea of it, the characters, the different monsters, the different characters. They're all very, very specific. They're very individualized. They're very different than anything I've seen before. And I feel like that's a really difficult thing to do now these days, because if you look at games like Dragon Age, I mean, we all know the formula. There's going to be humans, there's going to be elves, there's going to be dwarves, dark elves. I mean, Oblivion, Skyrim. It feels like a lot of different types of lore in different video games like Divinity share similar things with Oblivion and like with Skyrim. Like they share similar types of characters, but in this game, it's very different. The worm creatures are like the strongest fires I ever fought, knocking me out in 2 hits. But then again, I learned how to fight. I was able to fight them back, and it was cool. It wasn't a big deal. So the question is, should you get this game? Should you get this game? And let me tell you what. Let me give you my score It's from 0 to 10. If anything, I use Angry Joe's. Have you ever seen Angry Joe's show? He uses a scale 0 to 10. 5 is an average game. 10 is like an amazing game. I don't think I've ever seen him get a 0 to a game, but like 1 is just a piss poor game. It's terrible, right? So if I have to give this game a score, I think if someone gave this game like a 9 out of 10, it would be very dishonest. And I don't mean to be mean when I say that. Whoa, what? Wait. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's weird. Why is this happening? What? You're kidding me, right? No, that's weird. Now that's a weird glitch. What the heck? I was on an older save and it brought me to like the very end of the game. Okay, again, this is what I'm talking about. This game has so many bugs, it's not even funny. It's weird. It's weird. Anywho, actually no, I think I actually loaded the latest save, so that's actually maybe what that is. So, okay, if I give this game a score, I think the highest score that this game could possibly attain right now would be a 6 or a 7. It is an above average, like it's a good game. I consider a 7 like a good game. I think it's a very, this game is its own thing. It does it very well. The horror, the different characters, it makes you want to keep people alive. And you have to use your limited resources to keep the people you want to keep alive. Apparently, you can keep everybody alive in the game. If you look at the amount of characters that's in this game, it's nuts. It's nuts. Like, you are struggling to keep yourself alive. How can you keep yourself alive? Is what I'm wondering. So, I find that very, very interesting to say the least. So, I get this game right now for me. Since I enjoyed this game in a very, very personal way, I have to give it a 7. My final verdict is a 7 out of 10 for this game. But the things that seriously hold this game back is its poor optimization, its glitches and bugs, poor frame rates at times. Sometimes like the textures do not load in until like at least a minute later. Like the game just really has a hard time running. Corrupted save files. I think this game actually messed up my PlayStation at one point. My whole hard drive completely shut out, so I had to go get a new hard drive. So I don't even know if those two things are even related. But all I know is that this game comes with a bunch of bugs and issues and glitches that like you're gonna have to really tell yourself that you're gonna have to really look at this game hard to see if you can really like this game, because I wanted to stop playing it a couple of times because it just got to the point it was so unbearable that like I was trying to get away from enemies and I would just keep getting killed so many times unfairly because the game was loading and all the enemies had knives and you can look I think it was like the second or to last stream or third to last stream. I was just running to an area and then game loads and then I know where 4 knife strikes at one time. 4 knife strikes and I'm dead, but the game doesn't register that I'm even dead, so I'm able to run away for a second. I'm like, okay, I live. Nope, dead. I just die out of nowhere. So if this game was to ever, I think this game is, I'm not gonna lie, I think this game, the highest it could ever be if it didn't have any of the bugs or glitches is probably a 9. Potential, I wouldn't say 10. I don't think this game is 10 out of 10 material. I won't say that because I think that the type of game that it is, I don't know. The horror is there, and the engaging story is there, but like compared to other horror games, it's not. I wasn't really. I felt uncomfortable many times. I was very. I wouldn't say I was scared. I think the scariest parts of the game is when you're trying to go into houses when the plague is completely infested the area. And you have to go into these houses and get money and get items so you can trade it and get better stuff. And like the people who are sick are covered in these cloaks and they walk up to you and they make you sick and like you have to kill them or run away from them. And like I remember doing that for the first time it was very intense. It was terror. It was that kind of scared me. But honestly, after you got used to going to these houses, it stopped being a scary experience. The game just kind of changed. It went from being a scary experience to kind of just like an intense experience. That's really it. I enjoy the landscapes. It's very bare. Not really a lot of stuff going on. The architecture's interesting. It's like a mix between old like Native American culture, steppe culture with modernization with the railroads and guns and all that stuff. So it has a lot of cool aspects to it. I mean, you can even cut people open and harvest their organs and make medicine out of it with like different potions. I mean, it's truly nuts, some of the things you can do. And I barely dove into like the actual story. I'm gonna have to look up videos on my own time just to actually understand what the hell I just did. Like, because a lot of the time you're just super confused. It starts to make sense a little bit, but still, like each character has their own reasons why they're doing it, why they want to be on your side or be against you. It just changes, and you don't see it coming, but when it happens, you're like, oh, okay, interesting. Or you'd be like, wait, why? Why would you do that? Like, it changes, and you grow to love these characters. Now, one of my favorite characters was Murky. It was this little girl, and like she lived by herself, and she started saying, first time you see her, she's like, I hate you, why should I even listen to you, blah blah blah. But she ends up telling you before she dies, saying like, if she dies, if you keep her alive, she says like, I loved you ever since I met you, like, I can see you being my dad. And it's like the most it's the nicest, like, sweetest thing, and I did everything I could to keep that girl alive. I did. But she died. Actually, I think a lot of the kids die under my watch, and I hate that. I really do. It made me really sad. There's a lot of people that died in my playthrough. But guess what? I want to play it again because I want to keep everybody alive. I don't know about everybody, but I want to keep a lot of people alive. That's what I really want. I want to be like I don't know if I would not kill anybody, but like I want to keep the people I deem important, like the bloodline. I want to keep them important. But that's just the point. That's just the point of the game. You get involved and you get you just want to keep people alive. That's just what you want, and it's just so cool. I've never seen a game that makes you play as a doctor or a surgeon and it's fun. Other than like the funny like virtual reality game, you can like use your hands or break over the guy's rib, replace a heart and stuff. It's meant to be funny, but here it's meant to be kind of serious, and your diagnoses of your patients will either keep them alive or they'll die. So I give this game about a 7 out of 10. In the comments below, if anyone's watching, let me know what you guys thought. I would love to actually discuss it. I'm totally down for that, because I think that we all have a very different opinion. Some people, like I gotta say, I got 50 subscribers, and I'm so blessed for each one of you who've come in and have hung out with me, and who've wanted to just be cool. And it's been such an enjoyable experience for sure. But there are people out there that absolutely love this game with a passion. They are obsessed with this game, and I can see why. This game is it's nothing that I've never played a game like this before. I've not, and I want to play it again because I want to see how things can be different. But I do think that we are in the new console generation. We're about to actually go to the PS5 and the new Xbox. We do not need games like this. Games how they run like this, right? How this game, the loading screens, the poor quality of like the bugs. It's games like this will not thrive and do not need to. I'm not gonna say do not need to thrive because this game should thrive. It's a great game, but it's unacceptable. It's downright unacceptable to release a product, make people pay $40 for this game, $35, $40 for this game, and to be riddled with such bugs. And you also cannot say this game is meant to be difficult and it's meant to be like, you're obviously going to die, but then the optimization is so poor that you die because the game is just shitting on you. It's just you're dying because the game is not running effectively on a PS4. Like that's ridiculous. That should not be happening. The difficulty of a game should come from the game, not from the actual mechanics of the game, not bugs or glitches or errors. And then you're still making people pay like $35. I have heard no news about patches for this game, and it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame because I feel like more people would be willing to play this game or have better opinions of this game if this game actually ran better. Now, that actually requires a little bit more research and looking into the developers to see if if they're okay financially, like what's going on with them. But I gotta say, no matter what, you have a choice to release a good product, a mediocre product, or a shit product. And most of the time, people lean towards more of mediocre and shit these days, not because the game is bad, it's just because they don't fix the underlying issues that make the experience worse. And that's why you have in companies like CD Projekt Red, Ubisoft, they're holding off the release of these big games so they can actually fix these bugs so there's not a problem. Now, will there still be bugs? Yes, of course there will. But what I'm trying to say is this. This game impressed me. It made me want to play for multiple hours on end. But it also made me want to break my fucking TV when the game would stop working or the game would crash or I would be met with just a ridiculous amount of bugs. And it drove me insane. But the reason why I kept playing was because I see the potential. I want another game. I want a Pathologic 3. I want them to continue this game or continue the franchise or do something similar to it. Because this is like no experience I've ever had. What I do want to see, I want to see more people talking in the world with each other, with different races talking to each other. I want to actually see more interactivity in the world where the world's not just kind of boring. Because honestly, the world is boring at times. There's nothing really going on. There are bandits at night, and you can trade with people, you can talk to people individually, but you never see any kids talking to each other. You never see any people talking to each other. You only ever engage with somebody one-on-one. You never see what they talk about one-on-one, except if you're doing if you're in a weird dream and you're seeing like a vision. So at the end of the day, there is such promise for these developers and for this game. So I'm asking and I'm pleading. Do DLC. I'll play the DLC. I don't know if I'll play just the 1 day one. I don't think it's really worth $5. I don't know how much it is. I don't think it's really worth that much just for 1 day's worth of content, with all honesty. But fix the bugs, add new guns, add new content, add new characters, add new interactivity with the game. And if you did all of that, fix the bugs, add new characters, interactivity of people and the NPCs in the world, more events going on, more horror. More weird moments, because there was weird moments, of course, but sometimes it started to kind of go backwards a little bit. It stopped being kind of scary at the end. It got kind of shaky at the end, with all honesty. Start strong, end strong. If you can do all those things, this game is 10 out of 10 material, and I mean that with all my heart. I don't just even say that. If I think a game is shit, I would say a game is shit. Like Battlefront 2. I hate that fucking game. So, anywho, guys, I know this stream was probably all over the place. It's already 43 minutes in. Jesus, God, it's forever. So I apologize if it was a little bit all over the place here, but I just like to kind of go in and just kind of speak my mind and talk about these things, and because I really feel like this game made me feel the way I'm kind of explaining it. It made me feel a bunch of different emotions. It made me feel like I loved it, then it also made me feel like I hated its guts. And dang, that's something, isn't it? It really is. It's like a little kid that does things it shouldn't do, but it's your kid. You see the potential in him to do better, so you give him a little tough love, and because you know that things can be better. And I truly believe that with this game. So 7 out of 10. I would honestly give it a 6 out of 10, but I did really enjoy this game, and it was such an amazing experience. So 7 out of 10 for me. Guys, I really wanted to know what you thought. Like, in the comments below, let me know what you thought. When I get off the stream here, it may take a second to kind of post it, but I want to hear what y'all thought about this game. Was it as good as a 10 out of 10 game? What did you like about this game? Was it the horror? Was it the combat? Which I don't think anyone likes this game for the combat. But like, was it like you being able to be a doctor and a surgeon and like, you know, what was it? Was it about the trading system where you can like literally trade like peanuts and hazelnuts and raisins for like bullets and medicine? Like that was the funniest thing. I loved it because you can just get all the medicine you need by just, you know, trading with kids. And but that's another thing cool too. They take away the I don't want to spoil it. Don't want to spoil. Anywho, I'll do a spoiler thing and talk about it with people if they want to do that. Just let me know. But anywho, guys, I am going to end it there. If you liked the video, please leave a like. It shows that, you know, I don't know, not if I did a good job, but just like it shows you that if you're interested in me doing reviews. Shows me that you found this interesting or helpful. Now, do I recommend someone buying this game? Yes, but with a grain of salt. And two things. One, wait for them to patch it. Two, if you're not going to wait for them to patch it, wait for a sale. This game is not. I hesitantly say if it's worth $35 right now. It's rough. It's rough. The amount of crashes I sustained, the amount of issues I was met with. It's hard for me to recommend it. If on the PC, I could recommend it on the PC. But for the PS4 and Xbox One, I have heard just horror stories of people not being able to play this game effectively. And you should not charge money for something that's not ready. And I think they rushed this port of the game out. And I've not seen anyone do a PS4 review. I think people need to, you know, no one's been talking about it. I think I saw one person do it, but like he barely talked about any of the actual serious bugs that this game has. So, anywho, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and guys, stay safe out there, stay healthy, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. And stay tuned for more streams. I may stream tonight. I don't know. I have some stuff I need to be working on and getting done for school. So I'll either stream tonight or I'll stream like sometime after the weekend or next week. So guys, please stay healthy out there. It's getting crazy. Wear a mask, wash your hands, social distance. Deuces.